Okay, so welcome to the Master Teacher Tape group. Thank you for joining in this wonderful adventure. Today we start with this incredible lesson of today, which is not a glorification of the ego, but of your true self, which rules the universe. Myself is ruler of the universe. It is impossible that anything should come to me unbidden by myself. Even in this world, it is I who rule my destiny. What happens is what I desire. What does not occur is what I do not want to happen. This must I accept. For thus am I led past this world to my creations, children of my will, in heaven, where my holy self abides with them, and Him who has created me. You are the self whom you created, Son, creating like yourself and one with you. Myself, which rules the universe, is but your will in perfect union with my own, which can but offer glad assent to yours, that it may be extended to itself. You are the self whom you created, Son, creating like yourself and one with you. Myself, which rules the universe, is but your will in perfect union with my own, which can but offer glad assent to yours, that it may be extended to itself. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. And the lesson of today is a prayer lesson. So the lesson of today, myself is the ruler of the universe. It's like that's great. That's great to say experience that, or to actually become aware that that's the fact of the matter. That's what's happening. And even in this world, it says too, like even in this world, the things that are going to happen is because you want them to happen. Whether you are aware of it or not, but it's what you want. So that's why it happens, otherwise it couldn't possibly happen. And this is huge and this is clear. And that's why it's not so easy to accept right away. Now this phenomena we see too in accepting, for instance, what Master Teacher is sharing with us today. It goes so quick. So before you know it, you already deny or are in opposition to what is being shared, missing the point of it. because in your denial you don't accept the idea, and so you cannot even experience it if it would be true for you, like if it can come into your experience. That's how quick it is. And so you rely on your perception as feedback mechanism for your daily life, for your development, for how things are going and all this. This is coming back today too. It's like, no, it's not true. That's not true. It doesn't tell you anything about where you actually find yourself. And so this is quite huge, because in fact we're in a resurrecting procedure. And this you forget. You really think that you're in your human life trying to develop your spiritual transformation or something like that. Like, no, this you're in a procedure of resurrection. It's a physical resurrection that you're undergoing. And so for you to evaluate the process that you're in, what do you have? Where do you base that on? Unless it is a deep-founded recognition of the true essence of you, like of what you truly are, then you see exactly where you are. But up to that point, you don't see anything. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind. Like, you cannot evaluate yourself simply because you don't see yourself. You have an idea about yourself, but that's something totally different. You can have ideas about everything, but that doesn't mean that they are true, or that these are true ideas. So for sure, you have a temporal idea about yourself. So the ideas that you hold about yourself are rooted in time. You compare yourself to yesterday, and that is literally impossible, since yesterday is gone. This is this beautiful song. Yesterday's gone. It's like it's out of here. No, it doesn't exist anymore. Yesterday's gone. So, yeah. So that's great. Now, so there's no reference point. Like, you have no way of locating yourself, not even in time, not even in space. You don't know where you are, what you are doing, what it is for that you're undergoing, where that's heading to. Like, that's perfectly all right. Like, it is totally uncertain. In your experience of yourself, it's totally uncertain. And if you can admit that, great, wonderful, because then it makes things a lot easier. For one thing, you're probably gonna open your ears to hear what is being shared. Not necessarily by me alone, but by what Spirit is telling you. How can you be open if you already have an idea about yourself? Like, are you going to discuss this with Spirit? Like, well, Spirit, what do you think? I think I'm doing pretty good, but what is your take on it? Like, no, that doesn't make sense. So it's like the admission that you don't know is only, in fact, an admission that your ears are open and that you're ready to receive new, creative frequencies within your own experience. And I'm specifically using frequencies and experience not as words and understanding, because that would literally cement it back into time and space. But frequencies and possibilities, that's our language in the lucid procedure that you're in. Resurrection is literally like a dematerialization. Like, literally you are turning from matter, from particles, into waves in your experience. That's a quantum experience that you're undergoing, from particle to wave, from solid body to eternal light. Well, that is a resurrection procedure. So that is a physical process, in other words, and that doesn't mean that feels good or something, or that it's like, no, It can go any direction, but it certainly is taking place. So that about evaluating yourself, because that's something that we're going to take a look at in the expressions of Master Teacher before we listen to him. So the interesting part for me is that I discover we chop it into pieces, and the pieces themselves become like a whole chapter where something is occurring. That's what I love about this. Like, I really am looking forward to listen to just this part, literally lifting it out of the whole talk, so that to make sure that you want to come to the bottom of it, and not necessarily in understanding. Otherwise, we start all over again. Like, no. So there's continuously. There's a possibility to enter deeply into an experience of resurrection. So did that happen to you when you listened to it, or in the previous parts or chapters that we listened to? That's that is a possibility, that you enter deeply into light, that you have like, my God, I can't believe it. I suddenly feel overwhelmed by gratitude. I had no idea that this could happen in the first minute I listened to Master Teacher. And it's like, yes, that can happen, absolutely. It's like, if your ears are open, your consciousness is open, you can stay open, but it's like, then it can immediately happen, because literally this is not a conceptual talk. This is not trying to figure out what the hell resurrection is. No, not at all. No, this is a very subtle, beautiful, intense and personal experience of you connecting with your source, recognizing that connection is established, and suddenly coming right into it without any action or any doing on your part. You just slide into it. It's like that. It's like it's sliding into it. No, there's no struggle. There's no have to or must do, or I should try harder or anything like that. No, not at all. This is another part that will come back in today's talk. It's like it is so incredibly effortless that you cannot possibly imagine that would work in your accustomed to your human ways of doing things. This is like unheard of. Simple as that. It's unheard of how easy it is, how effortless it is. So that's because it's natural. Like what you're trying to do in your humanhood, in your human experience, is absolutely not natural. And you know this. Like I say it all the time, because I actually think it's funny to see, like hearing anyone talk about their lives as a human experience of themselves. Of course, it starts here. It's a memory that I carry, that I know, that I recognize. But it's like, it is always hard. It is always difficult, and it's always a struggle. And it's taking long, and it's long waiting. It asks for tons of patience and lots of money and lots of this and lots of that. And there's so much uncertainty in it that it's like quite impossible that anything good can come out of these actions. And still you hang in there and you keep floating in it and keep trying new things, trying new ideas, new old ideas, to do the same thing, to come to the same result. And you keep doing it, and you keep doing it. And you keep doing it. So that is unnatural. That is a struggle. That is intensely, going into the denial, really feeling that you should be doing this and still doing it. It's like, that's a deeply addicted mortalholic. Like, whatever it is, it sees this point at the horizon, like at a certain point, I might die in it, and I know that's going to happen, and it will happen. So it's like you drag yourself resisting dying to the point that you're going to die as a human being, and you prevent the death. You invest in not dying up to the point that you're dying. So this is another point from the talk. Yeah, it's great to take a look at it this way. Yeah, so let's see if there's anything else. Well, see, I was sharing this like this is a procedure of resurrection, a physical transformation, a physical resurrection that's taking place in you. And so the idea of body and mind, it is like, well, in metaphysics we saw this too. It's like in metaphysics it is like, does the mind have an effect on the body? It's like, well, there's the same idea. It's the same stuff. It's the same thing. They're not two different things. Like they're totally connected. They're totally connected. So they both, in that sense, they both are, say, the embodiment of denial, and eventually the, say, enlightenment of the whole idea of your whole mind body. So in the Course it says like the body cannot resurrect, like it cannot be enlightened because it's too dense. So it's like in your mind you can have ideas about the body, and these ideas solidify or crystallize, whatever you want to call it, into form. Now this undoing process in which that is going to be reversed, you could say, is a sudden shift into invisibility, like the miracle. Like there's a sudden shift into invisibility, away from the body awareness. Like literally you disappear out of it, out of the construct of your selfhood as you have created yourself, if you have made yourself, how you have defined yourself. So here in this procedure, you could say, like the resurrection procedure is in that sense, it's a sudden shift. It is not like going through it slowly up to the point that it's happening. Like no, that it's not dragged out in time. But it is like you can have experiences of it that are just momentary, and then you return back to body awareness. And this is where you recognize the miracle happens, and you're out of it for a moment, and then suddenly you find yourself back in. Now that's one part. Now we extend, like we try to come to the practice of extending the holy instant, extending this moment in which you are actually not coming down in that sense, but staying in high energy, or however you want to explain it, staying in light, coming back into the light experience all the time, staying in presence. That would be an easier way to formulate an idea. So this is not really about formulating ideas, as I said, but like we use it still to point in the direction. Now this I saw this today back to, this is a little sidetrack, but anyway, it's great. It's like the kiss. I started to prepare the kiss, like forgiveness and healing, and then I saw like, well, that might not be the moment to launch this whole project at this point. And one of the things is an expression of, this is just one expression, but it's so huge. Like I've shared it with you too. It's like, everything you do to maintain your relationships, or to separate your relationships, or to start your relationships or to end your relationships all leads to fragmentation. And that is, well, that's a good one to ponder for some time, and to see how that's actually at work in your relationships. Like, how many times are you trying to invest in your relationship to make it good, or to do it better this time, or to who knows what? Like, all of this, you recognize too that this is leading to more fragmentation than anything else. And you come to an honest admission of that. So the only way out of that, it is like a Zen koan, we do that tomorrow, but it is like a Zen koan, because the way out of this whole story is that in fact there is no such thing as a human relationship. Like, there's no communication going on in a human relationship. If it would communicate, it would recognize itself as one with every aspect of the relationship and beyond. Like, literally, you come into an experience of oneness in your holy instant. So here we are back again to the holy instant idea. It is like, this is your only way out. The holy instant. You disappearing into light. You coming in touch with your source. There's no solution here to repair your relationship, to start a relationship, to end a relationship, to maintain a relationship. Like, it's not going to be fruitful in any kind of way. No, actually, it leads to more fragmentation. So coming back then to the idea of light, every time that you allow your mind to literally come into wholeness, to come into a holy instant, to a moment of recognition, a moment of communion with your source, like, it is a party in the kingdom. There's a union going on. You're being brought back home, and with that you bring your brothers home. That is the only real event in this transformational process. Up to the point that isn't happening, up to the point that is happening, it is all, you can say, exercise to come to the place where you start to recognize, aha, that's why we do A Course in Miracles, to literally to get out of the construct as the only direction, as the only instruction, to get out of it. Because nothing can be repaired here, nothing can be maintained here in any kind of constructive way. So here we go. It's like, wow, that's so huge. But that's in fact what Master Teacher teaches in every single session. So anyway, so that's like a summary, and it's great to discover it for yourself. Right. Since myself is ruler of the universe, so you want to join your will with the will of God, to not fragment, but to unite, and to come into a recognition of your oneness with God. Now it's like to see, and to see in fact that your will is one with God, that you have no opposing will to God's will. Like, what God wants, I want, because our will is one. Now I want to see that at work. I don't have another will. So that makes things really easy in that sense, but only in this way. If you do that 100%, if you do that like with a full commitment, then you see that at work. Otherwise you have your own will, so you're stuck in that. You're fragmenting your relationships, your idea about yourself. Well, you know the outcome. You know, it's like literally it is what I desire. Above God's will, I desire this big mess that I'm in, or this incredible struggle, or in like inhuman tension, or this impossible situation that I'm in. See how that works? Like there's no solution for that situation as you see it. There's no solution for it. So if you stop looking for it, you literally open your consciousness for a moment of recognition, because that's the only thing that is available as a whole alternative for what you see and what you think about and what keeps you busy and what keeps you struggling. So huge lesson. Wow. Okay, so it keeps on expanding in my mind, so that's why it's so hard to talk. I don't even know how to say anything about that. I collected some of the expressions from the first 5 minutes probably, and used that to shed another light on the expressions of Master Teacher. I just disappeared in light is the title of this meeting. I promise and guarantee you that any structure, not stricture, but structure of mind that occurs with you is all that there is at that moment. There is not more. I promise and guarantee you that any structure of mind that occurs with you is all that there is at that moment. There is not more. Like there's only your experience. That's the only thing that's going on. Now you can string those moments together and call it time. But that original moment of your limitation was not real. There's literally nothing outside of you. There's nothing outside of you. If you conceptualize it as being outside of you, you must create it in the image of your own limited associations. You ought to start hearing this. This is the course. If you conceptualize it as being outside of you, you must create it in the image of your own limited association. You're literally pushing it outside of yourself, saying, well, that's over there. That is the guy that does it to me, or that is attacking me. That's the guy that's attacking me. Like it must be an image of your own limited associations. And you get back exactly the result that you asked for. That's cause and effect are not apart. You ask for that, you get it back. What you will is what you desire is what you get. You get always what you want. You get always what you want. You can't always get what you want. Well, you always get what you want. Sorry, Mr. Rolling Stone. You always get what you want. If it doesn't occur, you didn't want it. This is what you must accept. It's what we just meditated on. That's amazing. So you get back the exact result that you asked for. Now the problem here is then that you basically don't even know what you ask for. That's why you're confused or surprised by the results. But now you know the key. By asking for no result at all, you command your spirit to God. Yeah, so this is by asking for no result at all, you command your spirit to God. Literally, you have an open mind, because you're not asking any result. You don't expect the result in the limitations that you are aware of. So literally you open your mind to spirit in that same moment. Now that may be a point when you say, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? And you come to the point where you say, like, I have no idea what's the best for me. I don't know what to choose. I don't even know what to ask for. I feel completely, like in fact, I'm completely devastated. I have no hope of anything better here. Now, in your human devastation, you actually hit a bottom that is necessarily to hang out, so to speak. It brings you in total uncertainty, which is the only place where you can be open to receive something else. A real answer with a capital A. Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Why am I all here by myself? Nobody seems to care, and you don't seem to be here. It's like that's literally the point where you become open. I'll be very surprised if it wasn't, because this problem isn't solvable. And if you try it long enough, you see it isn't. And the more that you bring into the problem, the more you're going to demand a solution to it. Jesus calls that sacrifice. Now let's read that one more time. And the more that you bring into the problem, the more you're going to demand a solution to it. Like the deeper you get into the trouble, the more you want a solution. And this is what Jesus calls sacrifice. See, actually, you believe that you are going to contribute something to reality. That something separate from reality has something to bring to reality. And that is not so. That's not so. The moment that it had anything to bring, it brought it and became whole. Do you see? That's what salvation is. The admission that this is not so and bringing it to God. Okay, so this is a point to stop for a moment, because now we heard a couple of things. It's like, okay, I'm in trouble. I'm bottoming out in my trouble. I go deeper and deeper into it. I demand a solution. I really want it to be solved because it's unbearable. It's unmanageable. It's unbearable. And I've no idea. I've tried everything and everything did not work. You recognize that? It's like nothing worked. Absolutely nothing worked. Now what am I gonna do? Like demand even harder for a solution to the problem? That's a normal human tendency to do so. Is it going to bring you anything? No. Because what you're asking for is the problem that you're perceiving is taking place in your illusory state of you-ness, of what you think you are, and giving you an image that you really don't like, an experience that you absolutely don't like and no longer want at all. But you want that to change, and you're waiting for that to change. Then everything would be okay. Like you need a solution to that. Then it could be okay. Then you can thank God again. But this is not how it works. So it's like, no, you leave that for what it is. You come to the point where you're not asking for a solution to the situation. But you just give up, like it cannot come from here. I don't want any solution from here. There must be something else. Now this is literally where your consciousness opens. If you can say that from the bottom of your heart, then it naturally occurs that literally you're in communication suddenly. You see, it cannot come from here. And this is just as what we said in the beginning. It's like the holy instant is your only tool, really, that you have to get out of the construct. Because if you look for anything in the construct of your self-definition, you're in a prison and you can't get yourself out of it. It's impossible. So to give up and say, like, I don't want any of this. I want the alternative to this in its totality. I don't care what I need to do for that or what I need to let go for that. But it's what I want. I have no idea what it is, how it looks like, or how it will come to me, but I don't want any of this. I hear immediately your consciousness opens up to the light and love and that is within you. So this is like with every aspect of your life, whether that's sickness or not. It's like, if you see that you have no need for any of these experiences that are literally like completely draining you, that take every life out of you, if you have enough of that and say like, I have no need for this experience, you literally spring into light, into heaven. You start to resurrect right on the spot. That's what salvation is. The admission that this is not so and bringing it to God. How does this come about? It's an experience, a change of your mind. Yeah? You want to change your mind? This is the way to do it. Changing your mind is not changing negative ideas about yourself into positive ideas about yourself. Because all your ideas about yourself are, say, limiting definitions of yourself. So here is something totally different. It's an experience, a change of your mind, literally a shifting out of this construct of limitation. You know what I'm curious about? See if you can help me with this. How could you teach this as not physical if you're physical? Yeah, here we enter into the resurrection procedure, you could say. How could you teach this as not physical if you're physical? And Jesus handles it beautifully. He says the body will become a vehicle of communication. But the idea that you can subtract the body from the mind is just crazier than hell. The body and the mind are the same thing. There's no difference between the hardware and the software. You are what you think, and you create it in what you call thought form and make it real. This is what we call physical resurrection, the teachings that at any moment your body can be made whole and sanctified in pure light. That's Christianity, as pure as it can get. Can you get a feel for this resurrection? What you are, that you are the resurrection and the light? Now, here. That was the resurrection. This is gone. Stay with me. Phenomena will not solve your problem. You are already the residual of the noumenon. I guarantee you this is true. I just disappeared in light. And it wouldn't have made any difference whether I did or not. Some of you would have simply said, well, he was sitting here 1 minute ago, and the next minute he's gone. Resurrection, that you are the resurrection and the light, right now, right here, that was the resurrection. This is gone. Stay with me. See, this is how what I meant in the beginning with how quick it goes. It's like it is not an occurrence in time. It is not an occurrence in perception. No, it is a resurrection. This is gone. It's immediate. It's immediate. So phenomena will not solve your problem. That what you see as phenomena will not solve your problem. It doesn't mean anything. No, this is about the source, where it comes from. And you are already the residual of the noumenon. The noumenon is the origination of the source, you could say. It's where it comes from. The expression of it into form would be the phenomena. I guarantee you this is true. I just disappeared in light. Now this speeded up way of expressing. So anyway, we're going to listen to Master Teacher. I see that it's already time to really listen to Master Teacher, and I want to take time to do so. So I'm going to start the video.
You're going to teach subjective reality, teacher. You teach that's all there is. There aren't separate thoughts. Just don't try to do it. It won't work. You'll just conceptualize God or something outside of you. It's not possible. I promise and guarantee you that any stricture of mind that occurs with you is all that there is at that moment. There is not more. Okay? Now you can string those moments together and call it time, but that original moment of your limitation was not real. There is nothing outside of you. I'll do it again. There's nothing outside of you. See, if you conceptualize it as being outside of it, you must create it in the image of your own limited association. You ought to start hearing this. This is the course. And you'll get back the exact result that you asked for. By asking for no result at all, you command your spirit to God. Now that may be a point when you say, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Because this problem's not solvable. And the more that you bring into the problem, the more you're going to demand a solution to it. Okay. Jesus calls that sacrifice. And you actually believe that you are going to contribute something to reality. That something separate from reality has something to bring to reality. Not so. Not so. The moment that it had anything to bring, it brought it and became whole. Do you see? That's what salvation is. The admission that this is not so and bringing it to God. How does this come about? It's an experience, a change of your mind. You know what I'm curious about? How would you teach this? See if you can help me with this. How would you teach this as not physical if you're physical? Jesus handles it very beautifully. He says the body will become a vehicle of communication. Okay, but the idea that you can subtract the body from the mind is just crazier than hell. The body and the mind are the same thing. There's no difference between the hardware and the software. You are what you think, and you create it in what you call thought form and make it real. Okay, this is what we call physical resurrection. The teachings that at any moment your body can be made whole and sanctified in pure life. That's Christianity, as pure as it can get. Can you get a feel for this? Huh? The resurrection? That you are the resurrection and the life. Now, here. That was a resurrection. This is gone. Stay with me. Phenomena will not solve your problem. You are already the residual of phenomena. I guarantee you this is true. I just disappeared in light. Okay? And it wouldn't have made any difference whether I did or not. Some of you would have simply said, well, he was sitting here 1 minute, and the next minute he was gone. And you'll go back out into the world and say, we don't know what happened to him, but let's put a shrine up because anybody can do that deserves a shrine. Isn't that funny? And then you're stuck with what? Your associations with the phenomena that occurred. No, when Jesus rose, everything went with him. There was nothing left. A lot more went out than you think, incidentally. I'll show you on the master map how much went out with Jesus of Nazareth after 3 years of teaching. You think that was 2,000 years? It was last week. Some of you really start to hear me. I just told you it's not 2,000 years ago. It was last Sunday. He's right here.
How about now?
That's another curious thing. No, we'll let it be past. Why? It's a past association. I can look at it and be with that. That will bring that into the now. Then he's sitting here. Where did you think he was?
I wondered about that a few times.
He's right here. He would have to be. He could not be anywhere but here. He says he's here in the car, obviously. He says, if you look on me as always being with you, I assure you it'll be very true because I am. Where is he? Right there. Can you hear that? Could you hear that? Think that's him? He's here around here somewhere. Where's Josh? Oh, there. He really thinks he is, and he is. I don't know, you guys, some of you, it's real hard for you to hear this. See if I can do it for you so you'll hear it. This Course in Miracles, pure Course in Miracles now. One Savior is the same as any other Savior if none of it is true. Anybody hear that? In other words, it wouldn't matter what you brought into it. It's all going to be not true anyway. It's not like there's separate Saviors. There's only one. Why? Because none of the Saviorship is really real. Saviorship is just sleight of hand. It's not real. There's nothing to save. You see how simple salvation is? Shall I show you how really simple it is? You're my Savior. I'm home. Anybody? How would it not be so if that's a projection of my mind? Forgive your brother. How would it not be so? And somebody answer me. How would it not be so? It has nothing to do with the characteristics of what he is. That's what holds me in the bondage of the judgment. He's either my perfect whole Savior or he's what? Nothing. And I am nothing with him. If I give him an identity separate from myself, neither of us are anything. We're just the distance between our thoughts. And we kick them out there and we study them. We do everything we can to keep from getting any closer than that, and we call it a relationship. Boy, the Course handles this so beautifully. Finally, you end up calling it a good relationship where you don't put anything into it. Except your own agreed forms that somehow you've agreed not to be conflictual about until they fall apart and you get conflictual. Astonishing. And if we get too close to you, you get scared. You're very much afraid of love. Whew, scares you to death. It's a release of your own passion. You'll start to create. Yeah. And you're afraid of your own mind. You're very much afraid of your own creative mind. You're afraid you'll kill somebody. You'll turn on yourself and kill. You won't. You won't. You'll be fine. You're not going to be flung out of here. We won't suddenly cast you into heaven. Just trying to get you to get up a little closer. You're coming to the spot that you always chickened out. Lovely in the Course, just lovely, he describes this place where you always come to. You must come to the place. And then you choose either life or death. And you're doing it all the time. Now you've got yourself what? Crowded up against it. You've used up your alternatives. Literally, don't you see? Straight the way and narrow the gate. This is a vertical access now. And you're looking straight at it, and you don't have any more foundation to hold yourself, to keep yourself distracted. And if you stay there just for a moment, you'll undergo an experience. And that's what's happening here now. But you got to stay there long enough to undergo it. And you have to have faith that it's going to happen. And you will, because you did. My faith in you is absolutely total and complete. It's impossible that you did not do this. There's no such thing as failure. You can't fail. You can't fail doing this. You are what failure is. You see, you can't fail any more than you fail. You keep trying to recover from your bottom. Don't recover. Some of you guys recover from the bottom and you'll end up white-knuckling it all over the place. When I used to teach this, I say bottom out all the time. Then you will feel good all the time, won't you? Yeah. I can't, he will if I'll let him. Of course, how would he not? Plus it'll happen today. Not last week and not last year. It's going to happen now. Are you going to spring into heaven? Yeah. Yeah. Did you? Yeah. Is this world going? Yeah. Yeah. How else do I have this breath? What is that? How do you know that? Now the alternative is in your mind. Now you can say, I doubt that very much. Now I can say, well, look at your situation. See? Look what you're doing. See it? You say, yeah, but I'm not the cause of it. Yes, you are. So you have to be willing to accept that. Okay? Swear not to die, right, angel? You holy son of God. You made a bargain that you can't keep. The bargain cannot be kept. because it's with two unreal things. One of them is not real. You can't die. You can't obliviate yourself. You can't meet a stranger. I digress from that. I'll do that tomorrow. It's impossible. Just don't try to understand him under the circumstances you're presenting himself to, and the miracle will work. You ought to start teaching this. I'm doing it right now with you. You keep fighting back, but what I'm doing is say, hey, don't come to me for answers. Come to me if you want to know there aren't any. Don't bring me your answers to the problem and ask me for a solution. You are the problem and the solution. I can't answer the problem for you, but I can tell you that it's not real. And I can give you the reflection of my mind that is certain of that. All right? It is not real. And if you will let me do that, this is the definition of what you would call a later time teacher. I can only be later in your own time associations. You see? That later time is going on just exactly as much as this time is going on at this time now. And if you change your mind, all of the associations of your mind will change. You may not recognizing them as changing, but who the hell cares? They're changing all the time. Okay? The miracles that are going on from your divine whole mind are so much greater than anything you couldn't possibly know. There's no such thing as an idle thought. You have absolutely no idea the power of your own mind, except what? You restrict it by your own limited self-identity. And it cannot exceed the source. Come on. And you demand recognition in your own limitation. What do you get? Recognition in your own limitation. And you send out these thoughts to bring you back the result that you want to hear. Now when you read that in the Course, you'll say, hey, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do that anymore. I'm going to come into a situation and shut up. I'm not going to prejudge it. I used to teach this as a human. And when it started to work with me, it really started to work. Don't come in there with a predisposition. Okay, don't come in there with a limited solving problem. Sit down in the board meeting and shut up and let it mature. Why? Minds communicate, bodies don't communicate. If everybody comes in there with a body thought, they'll throw it onto a table and the units will be so small that you can't make anything out of the solution. If everybody steps back, they'll what? They'll fall into a harmony of a reassociations of their minds. This is A Course in Miracles. Exactly what it teaches you to do. But if you're going to form your groups and come in and jabber, blah, blah, about your other associations with each other, all you're doing is condemning each other to your past death associations. You've got to release them from the judgment of your identity. Is your mind blabbing? Oh, it's blabs. Blah, 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 blah. And it compares the blabs. And it gives them a real... and it's got all different kinds of blabs. This is in the Course. And you sort them out and you go through them and all that. Speeches, Jesus handles speeches in an attempt not to communicate. But you want to set it up separate so that you can keep your own self-identity. Okay? All right. Now we'll see where this is. That's coming on. Coming on. Tomorrow I'll teach you how to look through. I won't teach you, but I'll show you a little brighter association of yourself if you want to hear it. If you don't want to hear it, you won't hear it. If you want to hear it, you'll hear it. If you suddenly go home tonight about 2 o'clock, you'll have this lovely vision and you'll wake up and you'll pick up the Course and wow. That's all I want to do. We want to begin to give you the visions of your own new reality to break you out of the veil that you have placed over your own conceptual mind so that it can expand to the reality of you. That's all we're trying to do. Okay. It would be very helpful if you didn't attack us for this. And demand recognition in your own associations. I'm very serious. Okay. I want you to attack it on the very fundamental grounds of the personal observation of your own pain. You must accept atonement for yourself. Okay. And this is the way that it really works, because it really is only your own mind. Sometimes you don't think you're making much progress, but I'll guarantee you are, and I will remain constant in this. I'm in perception, but it will be absolutely constant. Remember that with two false things, there's no such thing as honesty. There's no truth here at all. But there is what? Constancy. Okay? It's impossible that you direct your mind to being with God and it not happen. I guarantee you. What? If you have I'll try it this way. Separate goals are impossible. If you can have any goal, it can only be to be perfectly happy and perfect in your own mind. That's God. It could not be. But you have constructed him in your own limited association, and you are getting back the idea that you want. That's an idol, that's called. And that will crumble, and you will serve it, and it will fail you, because you are failing yourself. All doubt is self-doubt. I don't doubt you. There's nothing to doubt. It is a comparison with whether you are or not. You are either whole and perfect and with God, or you are nothing. Now, you can say to me, no, I am not anything, and I can prove it. And I'll say to you, how are you going to prove it? And you'll say, I'm going to fight off sickness, pain, and death to prove my reality. And you do. Jesus says, you sell your soul to the devil, which is that sense of what we're teaching, yet you always lose. He demands an extraordinarily high price from you. In fact, he demands death from you. And you're willing to sell it to him in exchange for some bullshit. For nothing. And you grab these little pieces and you hold on to them in your own mind, and then you what? You die. But only at your own hands, teachers of God. Now find these things in the Course. These are all sentences in the Course, and begin to look at them. All you have to say right now is, I have no need of sickness, pain, and death, and you'll be healed perfectly. And I guarantee you will never be sick again, and you can't die. Because you can't be sick and you can't die. Okay? He that believeth unto me will never die, but will have eternal life. Doesn't say anything about dying or having experiences of death and then being somewhere else. Okay? It's a present condition of reality. This is physiological for those of you who are beginning to have a few experiences. And we can show you that too. I just don't want you to get caught up in the mechanism. The key to this is that it's happening despite everything you're doing. Stay with me. The key to the Course in Miracles is it's happening despite everything that you're doing, not because of anything that you're doing, and that everything you're doing is what's keeping it from being there. You are in a process of awakening. It is this is a required course. It's an inevitable process because it is constructed in your mind to be that. You can pretend to choose the time, and I can offer that to you. You will then choose the associations of the demand from yourself, from that other association. But the quicker you decide that you don't want to do that, the quicker you'll get out of here. Because this is a dream. I'll give you the sentence, and you ought to be able to hear now. This is a dream of death. That's true. This is not what life is. Try it that way. This is not life. This is death. Not being dead and death are the same thing. Do you see? Each moment you say, I'm not dead. Compared to what? Being dead. Doesn't that get painful? See, all you're doing is protecting yourself. You're saying, I'm not dead yet. Now you're going to get old and wrinkled and go to a nursing home and drool out your thing and stare at the wall and get Alzheimer's disease. The hell with that. Don't do it. I'm telling you that it's not true. You're really afraid to take this step. Now watch your fear come in. I'm getting out of here. This guy's crazy. Nothing is crazier than this. The more expressions of insanity you show, the closer you're getting to this, incidentally. Some of you may begin to do very bizarre reassociation. You've always taken a pill for it before, which is an addiction to retain your identity. And when you can't take a pill, you begin to undergo this agoraphobia, And that's what you're afraid of, isn't it? Sure. There's no question you have schizophrenia. We just want to complete the process rather than reducing it to continued schiz. But if you complete the process, you'll lose your split mind. And you'll have nothing to compare yourself with. You'll be as God created you. Isn't that funny? Paranoia is worse, isn't it? You guys got all these figures all around you. You're afraid of them. What causes that? There are figures all around you. Don't you understand? You had an expansion of your form associations. And everybody is saying, don't pay any attention to them. And when you were a kid, you'd say, what the hell was that? You know, they're all around you, and that's actually all going on. But you're taught to what? Reduce it to your own conception. Okay? And it's called paranoia. Why? And it's very fearful to you. Why? You're being threatened by reality, by other forms that you've constructed in your mind. And you want to sort out the ones that you want to have and hold. You guys that go into astral associations, remember that all thought form is only your own mind. Okay. If you have previously constructed that to attack you, it may begin to appear to attack you. Just step back, say, hey, how you doing? You're looking good. I love you. Don't defend yourself. You're a little deep for this. Can you understand? This is still a little chaotic, okay? You're a little early in time. Huh? But it's impossible to be too early. I'm going to give you the other sentence. It's too late. You already know about it. You say, well, I'm not ready to do that. Oh, yeah, you are. You must be ready or you wouldn't know that you're not ready. You understand? It's the same thing as that not knowing is a decision. You say, I don't know. Of course you know. Otherwise, how would you know that you don't know? You can make a decision not to know, but don't kid me. You know or you wouldn't know that you don't know. This is lesson 139. You go home tonight, you read lesson 139, and it'll excite you. It's one of the greatest Socratic minds it is the greatest mind that ever resurrected. Why? It's a combination of all of our minds. The reason the course is chosen for you because it's the way that you really think. And I want to encourage you to understand that love is reasonable. Otherwise, you'll try to get with the passion of your own denial. I'll give you all the passion you need, but I want this to be reasonable to you, darn it. There's no way that I would have got this with my passion. I had plenty of that, but I also saw that it was leading me to death and arrangements and terrible pain. Okay, this is a course in reason. Okay, the idea of whole mind is very reasonable if you'll let it be. And I'll sit with you for as long as it takes and show you that we're choosing sides and that you're choosing to die, and I'm offering you eternal life that you must know about or you couldn't choose. And if you know about it, you must have chosen it. And we'll get into some temporal teachings because Jesus really, the expressions contained in the Course in Miracles from the idea of the hologram, the idea of quantum physics, okay, and the idea of temporal thought form reassociations are there, but there's nothing on earth that has ever compared with the Course.